Hi Capricorn, I'm Susan, your intuitive for this month's intuitive tarot and astrology reading for love and money for June 2025. We're gonna get right into love, and we have for Capricorn risings, Jupiter's heading right into your 7th house, if it's not already there, depending on your chart. And Mercury as well. So let's see what comes out for you. We have the Emperor. Some things that are revealing themselves through control, through chaos, where there needs to bring order, perhaps, where your mind has been focused. This is also a Mars card. We were just talking about Mars. Mars coming through to that house is going to bring to the surface this ability for profound change that can be navigated by what you actually can control. This opportunity to bring a lot of good fortune to this area of your life, a lot of abundance, a lot of a newfound shift, a creative way that shifts things, that helps things, that demands integrity, perhaps, demands focus. Now, the Emperor is also an Aries card. And Aries, because I don't have my proper notes, is in your 4th house. So a lot has just entered your 4th house of foundation for Capricorn risings, foundation, caregivers, parents, ancestry, emotional security. So whatever has needed to release, whatever's needed to be seen and shown that you're not valuing yourself properly in your relationship with yourself first, which would then in turn extend to the people around you, right? Especially your closest relationship. So whatever it is that you have been wanting control over or trying to have control over, you've been seeking to find what you actually can control. Whatever that is showing you what you can control, and what that allows you to see is where you've been devaluing a part of yourself that was masking as generosity or charity or I feel bad for this person, and the list goes on. And now the power that is coming back to you in relationship, especially if you are in relationship with someone and there's just been a lot of navigating this kind, and it's a little sneaky, right? Maybe it's a little sneaky. And now you can really bring your power back in your masculine identity that brings a lot of magnetism towards you and your relationship and what that can create. So for those of you who do value generosity, who do value giving, what Jupiter in your 6th house of work and health was revealing to you, perhaps, is where you've been maybe holding on too tight, squeezing too hard, or not doing enough of, right? This balance of back and forth of maybe learning, not integrating, right? So now you're able to see you've had expansion on where your health, or where work is affected by your health, or where your health is affected by work, which is what I was trying to say at first. Yet you've been maybe projecting that out into your relationship or to your other relationships, when really you've needed to focus on your health. And if you did that, because that is what's been urgent and what your mind really needs to take control over, the more generous you are with yourself in the way that you need for your health. For some of you, it really directly relates to your mental health and how that relates to how you were perhaps raised and how you've been caring for yourself. And more recently than not, I've realized that, and I've said this for a while, that our emotional healing is going to become such a bridge to our experience here, both from the psychic to the physical, that emotional healing at this time, because a lot of planets are going through the last degrees of something and then entering the new one. And so we get this newness and then we're releasing, and this new and release, and like coming to a close in so many chapters that can be exhausting, and especially emotionally. So if you, some days you might say no to working out and really focus on your mental health, really focus on releasing. Maybe working out allows that to be accessed, very Mars. Maybe it's just a walk, right? It's checking in with that part of yourself, that what's going to actually bring your power back today. And that's a constant progression of understanding yourself and understanding your relationship. So wherever you've been overly demanding, perhaps find where that was demanded of you in your life. The Emperor is Mars, it's Aries, but it's also about the self. Aries is about the self. Where is what you're doing or not doing directly affecting? Where are your patterns of where that's been coming from? Maybe it's been insecurity or, programming, whatever it's been, it's okay. And it's coming up to acknowledge that if this has been already powerful in a projection kind of way or an unconscious way, imagine how powerful it is when you are conscious of it, and how much magnetism there is when you are conscious of it. And your relationship may be showing you that a lot, because what you've been perpetuating perhaps is this feeling of aloneness, right? There's been this feeling of aloneness, but that's because you're meeting yourself and finally caring for the parts of yourself that put you in a mode of overgiving or oversharing or sharing of yourself even. Capricorns aren't always known to be like the most talkative. Some of you are, I get it, you can be, and you might be changing into being even more communicative for some of you, right? So wherever or maybe others were oversharing with you. So wherever that overburdening energy, being overburdened by work and your health, and now that you're finally focusing there and noticing how much that impacts your relationship, and how extremely balancing that and revealing it is to your relationship, and how you can have these conversations that aren't just about you giving this or you wanting this. It's actually productive. There's more production because it's not wanting to control or wanting a specific outcome. It's actually working through it together. And if you're single, you're learning where some of your boundaries or your preferences or your icks are actually keeping you from experiencing and transforming in your life. Where you may be noticing that you're having the same experience, and now you have a greater sense of understanding, you have a greater sense of control, and a greater sense of co-creating the relationship that you desire. And it's perhaps, if you focus on that fourth house, if this relates for Capricorn Sun or Moon about the fourth house, just allowing yourself to address your emotional security and where that's impacted your relationships and where they stem from, especially the one with yourself, and the role that you play, not just in your career, but in the grand scheme of your life. Like, what do people come to you for? Do you want them to still come to you for that? Is this something that can just be selective to the people close to you, and it's not something you necessarily want to exploit about yourself? Or is it something that you really do love about yourself, that you do really connect with, that you do want to share with others? That is a conversation that you may want to have with yourself. So definitely check in with that. Maybe it's with a close relationship that you have that with, or a mentor, someone where you can go back and forth, There's a major opening right now for your growth in relationships and in relationship to, because the more you let go of whatever you were controlling, the more that is open. For some of you, that just might be pulling back and just taking time for yourself and for your partner, or for yourself to be more playful. Either way, we'll get more into it in the second part. Your cards for money just fell out, and all information to work with me is below. Website, schedule link, payment options, the Patreon link for the second part. We'll get more in depth into this experience of June, because boy, 2025 is such an experience to be had. And the Gemini card came out, the Lovers card came out. So your hard work, your hard work, Capricorn, is not only going to be exposed, noted, notarized, it is this kind of work that is so fulfilling, even more fulfilling than I think you thought, because you're letting go of these controls, and that's allowing you to experience even more than you could imagine. For some of you, if you're someone who does think of that, like, yes, I desire this, I manifest this, but like, what's better than I can even imagine will come through. And it's allowed you to realize that whatever slowness, whatever's been taken out of your life, whatever's been shed out, or whatever you're actually just shedding out yourself, whether it's been taken away or you're choosing, and sometimes just making a choice will take something away, so technically, I mean, anyway, you're allowing yourself to grieve. Now, interestingly enough, this grievance of what didn't work, and then the 2 cups behind here, Gemini rules the lungs. Overgiving, overdoing. Where are you giving too much energy because you've been avoiding doing something else that you've been wanting to do, that creating a vision for something different perhaps? Where are you not allowing yourself to slow down with what, even though life's like, slow down? Like, where have you been, but in your mind it's been still like a process of going back and forth? Well, this 10 of Wands, 10 of Cups is like you're ending this process of whatever you've been grieving for, even some of you 10 years. And it may have been this a 10-month like crunch time period of really getting into it, of like, this is something that has been maybe with you or spiritually in you for quite some time. Maybe you didn't know that there was something to grieve, or because that's such an interesting conversation to have, even grieving and what that looks like and how personal it is for all of us, that you just may be grieving now, like now that you're slowing down, or now that you have this ability to be more present, or you're choosing to be more present, you're able to now bridge this gap. You're able now to actually move forward in fulfillment to whatever these desires are. Now, no Pentacles came out in this money section, but what's happening here is that the work that you've done, you've done as much as you can, and now you surrender to the worth that you feel, to what's best for you. The slow down from the 10 of Wands to the 8 in reverse is saying that a lot of these wands perhaps weren't necessarily yours to carry. You just had the strength, so you added it to the plate. And it's okay. It's okay. Acknowledging all of this is just going to make this 10 that much sweeter. This 10 of Cups, this moment of desire, this connection, maybe coming into a new job or a new position, or having what you do but doing another journey, adding multiple things, whatever it is that is bringing you closer to who you are, is the worthiness, is the abundance, it's the creation of your life. Money comes through the more that you acknowledge and process what needs to be processed, because if the 10 of Cups is what you're at, and you're at that 10 of Wands ending and finally putting down and laying to rest and doing all that you can, that anything that's overburdened you, there's a sense of illusion that perhaps has come across, and that's Neptune, the movement of Neptune from Pisces to finally to Aries. And there's been some kind of illusion over your foundations that has carried you so far. For some of you, it might be overworking and you're wanting to pull back, but that actually feels hard because you're so used to overworking, working, and not focusing on yourself or focusing on what you want to build. Maybe you're scared of losing money. Well, actually processing, it might take a moment to adjust, but it will adjust. The abundance that you seek is through the lessons and the abundance of the opening in your relationship. The trust that you build there. and honoring that trust. It's recognizing that the long term, now is the time to make a decision about the long term. If you want to, you'll have more time to adjust, of course, but if you really want to adjust anything within the next 3 months, start thinking about it now. Because when the moment comes, you'll be more prepared. You know, maybe if you think about it, or the intention is there and it's real and it's pure, and things start showing up in your life to address it over and over again, and here you are addressing it over and over again. Do you want to continue working this way? Yeah, but there could be another option that you're not looking at. There could be a skill that you can harness and utilize. But you've had to grieve a different way of working, a different way of going about things. And it could be easy to continue this way, but that's not the way life's headed. Yes, Capricorn, you can work hard and work your way up, but there's another trajectory. You can do that, but you can also gain a true understanding of what you really want, what you really desire, where you want to put your emotions in this very powerful energy that you have right now, and something, your life begins to expand. For some of you, really put in the work, and now you're being given the next, if you're wanting that promotion, right? If you're wanting to stay in the same spot that you're in work, or if you're wanting to create something, it's getting a level up, or you're actually creating it. Whatever level, the level's going up, and there will be a grievance period because you will be doing less of what you were doing before, and it was maybe easier, comfortable for you. Now you're in this next phase, so you're grieving something while also experiencing so much abundance in this area of your life. And if you're shedding and feeling so much, or just feeling like you're needing time alone, or needing to be in nature and needing only like real connections right now, and not that you're ever really not doing that, but it's just so much more obvious and apparent. So let yourself process. Do all the nice things. Do your best not to be too harsh with yourself. You may notice why too. Yeah. Right, Capricorn? All information to work with me is below. We'll get right into the next part, and we will see you there.